Sean Longstaff has been a massive talking point amongst the Newcastle fans all season now. Some really impressed with what he's doing at the club. Some will still be on his back no matter how well he plays. For me, he's played a pivotal part in Newcastle United's season so far. And as you can see on the bottom there, is he out for the season? Of course, Eddie's been talking in his press conference, so we'll have a look at what he had to say, but it doesn't sound good for Sean Longstaff. But let's get into it, guys. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul. Welcome back again to the Daily News on the Toon Review. And yep, Sean Longstaff is probably the main talking point from the press conference. Everybody's been wondering just how bad that injury has been for him. It turns out it looks quite a bit more serious than what it was. Eddie, to be fair, he's still kind of backing off, saying that it's a season-ending injury, but there's only 4 games left, guys. I really can't see Sean Longstaff being involved with the type of injury that Eddie's kind of describing. I don't think it's possible that he's going to get fit enough to be back. But look, we'll take a look at what he had to say. First of all, about the Leeds game tomorrow. He said, we're looking forward to it. We know it's going to be a great occasion and a great atmosphere. We need to be ready for what's going to come. It's going to be a really important start to the game. I think the first 15 to 20 minutes will have a huge impact on what is going to happen afterwards. Now, we know it's happened loads of times this season where we haven't started too well, but when we do start well, we start like a bloody train. And I think tomorrow is going to be very important to go at Leeds from the off and really, really rock the confidence, because I genuinely think if we can get an early goal tomorrow, I think game over for me. I really do. I think we can blow Leeds out the water if we get that early goal. But it's all about the discipline and everything else that we put out there, as Eddie said there, in the first 15 to 20 minutes. It's going to be vital because we know Sam is going to have the guys fired up for Leeds. It's his first home game as manager. As Eddie's alluded to there, the atmosphere is going to be incredible in Elland Road. We know they can generate a fabulous atmosphere. So it's very important that the lads go out there with the right heads on the shoulders and not just sort of, oh, well, we're going to turn up and beat them just because they've struggled this season. It's not going to work like that. And I'm pretty sure that Eddie will not have Newcastle United players going out there tomorrow with that kind of attitude, because it just wouldn't work. Sean Longstaff is the big talking point, as I mentioned there in the intro, and this is what Eddie had to say regarding Sean. He went to see a specialist, and I think there was a few concerns that there's some structural damage in his foot, but there wasn't, which is good news. There is a bit of damage to one of the ligaments. He's been rescanned today, which we hope will show an improvement. It's unclear when he will be back, but it's not a long-term issue. Now, how many times do we hear this from the manager saying it's not a long-term issue? We saw it with Maxi. He's been out a good few weeks. Some reporters are claiming that Sean's not going to be back this season. Eddie's been very coy on it, as you could imagine him being. But it would be nice, I guess, just to come out and say he's out. But he's not going to say that. I know on the flip side of that, because the opposition will be looking at that and thinking, the likes of Leicester and Chelsea and Brighton, who we've still got to play, of course, if Sean's not going to be available, then that's a huge boost to the opposition, because we know when Sean plays, Bruno is freed up. Bruno can play a different game. Unfortunately, we're not seeing the best of Bruno at the moment. Now, whether that's because Longstaff is out or Bruno's injured himself and he's just seeing out the rest of the season. It's a real complicated situation that we've got now here in the midfield. But we know he's not going to be there tomorrow, possibly not going to be there for the season. Look, I think if he's damaged one of his ligaments, how on earth is he going to be ready in the time that's left in the season? He's just not going to be ready, guys. He isn't. We've got to be honest here as Newcastle fans. We're not stupid. We do know that an injury to a ligament can mean weeks out. It's very rare that you can respond to a ligament injury, or a damaged ligament especially, within a couple of weeks. They may well just say to Sean, look, we need you to rest for a few weeks. Get yourself ready for the summer. Get yourself ready for pre-season, and we go again. At the moment, I can't see him being back, guys. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think Longstaff's going to be back this season, because I'd rather have him wait and come back stronger next season than risk, is a serious ligament injury, which would need surgery, etc. And he's out for 8 to 12 months, which we know that some ligament injuries can occur like that. So for me, look, if he's got a damaged ligament, don't rush him back. Do not rush him back, because that's the worst thing that we can do as a football club is to rush Sean back. It just wouldn't work. And I'm sure everybody, no matter whether you think Sean's done well this season or not, we don't want to see him on the long-term injury list. Matt Ritchie has also picked up another injury, guys. Eddie says that Matt has picked up a knee injury. I don't think it's too bad, but I think it will keep him out for the rest of the season. Now, for me, that is a massive blow, not just to Matt Ritchie, but to the fans, because I'm sure that Eddie had in his plans, we expect Matt to miss to leave in the summer, right? So it would have been a great opportunity for Matt Ritchie. I'm sure he would have brought him on in the last home game for a last hurrah, a last goodbye, and the fans could show their appreciation for the fantastic work that Matt Ritchie has done since he's been at the football club. Nothing's definite in football. Absolutely not. So, we don't know for certain that he's going. But if you read between the lines, he does want to head back down south when he finishes, or even play a season or two down south. Portsmouth, I think, have been linked with him. Of course, he stated years and years ago that he would finish his career with Portsmouth, though. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But it's such a shame for Matt Ritchie, because he's been a hell of a stalwart to the club. He's been fantastic. Helping us get back into the Premier League, of course, is sheer passion for Newcastle United has shone through on many, many occasions. Yeah, he's slower than he used to be now, of course, when age catches up with you. But he's been a marvellous servant to Newcastle United, and it's a real shame if he is out for the season that we're not going to be able to put him on the pitch for those last few minutes to show our appreciation for, for what has been a fantastic career that he's had at Newcastle United. Now, on the run-in, Eddie has turned around and said, the lads have been incredible in every game, bar 1 or 2 this season. They've given me absolutely everything. Now we have 4 games to try to consolidate all that effort to achieve something remarkable. That's what we're looking to do. Just keep our nerve and keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully it will be enough. Now, that's the first time that I've really heard Eddie saying hopefully. I think he's nervous, and rightly so. The whole squad will be nervous about the situation they're in at the minute. They'll desperately be wanting Champions League football. That there is absolute no doubt about. This club will be desperate. And Eddie Howe, we know, has never managed in the Champions League before. It will be a monumental achievement for Eddie. And to get that opportunity to manage in the Champions League and to manage a club like Newcastle in the Champions League, where he knows under those lights at St James's Park will be a very special atmosphere. Yes, even if we made Europe, it would be special atmosphere. But the Champions League anthem and everything, we've come so far this season. And yes, we've overachieved, but we're now 4 games away from the end of the season. Therefore, overachievement doesn't matter anymore. We're in that position, and let's stay there. And Eddie's right. The team have given everything. We've got 4 games left. And 4 games left to give it absolutely everything that they have in that remaining 4 games. Because it's 4 games away from the Champions League, which we never ever thought possible at the start of the season. No way. He mentions there about 1 or 2 games this season we haven't been at the races. Again, perfectly correct. Most of the games we have. There's been some frustrating draws along the line. And if, we look back across the season, if we hadn't have drawn those games and won them instead, who knows where we'd be. But he mentioned something there in that comment about keeping our nerve. I think that's the big, big thing for me. They have to keep the nerve. The players just have to be sensible, play the normal game, don't lose discipline, and just keep the nerve. It's a very, very good quote that Eddie's come out with there, because a lot of the fans will be nervous. The players will be so desperate to reach the Champions League that they haven't got to let those nerves get to them and cause problems. They've got to be professional till that very last kick of the season. And then we see where we are. But there's no doubt in my mind that, you can read between the lines there what Eddie said there. He's desperate for the Champions League now. He's been very quiet about it as such in the build-up. You know, whenever he's been asked about the Champions League, he's kind of, you know, never said, yes, that's our aim or anything like that. He's sort of brushed it aside. This is different, guys. This is very, very different. Eddie's now looking like, he has to be. He knows he's in a position where it's up to us for the Champions League. It's in our hands. Don't blow it, you know? And I think that's what he means by keeping the nerve. And God, it's going to be a hell of a nervous run-in, but hey, what a season. Now, finally, on Isak and Wilson playing together. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this during the week, of course, certainly on our shows and other shows as well. We were happy to see them start last week. Very apprehensive, though, because we knew that they were both on the pitch. There was no kind of impact sub to make, and it didn't quite work. You know, we didn't get them both going in the game. Callum just looked, well, he didn't play well at all. He was very secluded, I think, up front. He wasn't brought into the game enough, and it just didn't happen. But on that, Eddie has said they were on the pitch together, but they weren't a partnership as such. I saw enough from Alex, who played well, I thought, to know he can play in that position. And I know Callum in the number 9 role is an outstanding player. So if it means playing both together is something I'll definitely consider. I don't think he will for the Leeds game. I think he'll go with Isak. We did our match preview last night. If you haven't seen that, it is on the channel. Go and watch it. Interesting to do our team lineups and see what we all 4 of us went for. Very similar defence in midfield. It was the front 3 that caused us headaches to say, right, does Maxi come in on the left? You know, now we know that Longstaff's definitely out. Is he going to go with the 3 of the, Joe Linton, Willock and Bruno again? But who plays the front 3? Does he stick with Murphy? Does he stick with Gordon on the left? Or does he put ASM in from the start? But one thing we do know is that he's going to have a stronger bench again because he's going to have one of these impact players. In fact, he'll have a couple of impact players coming off the bench. So it's not all in doom and gloom tomorrow that Longstaff isn't playing. We do have options there. But I'd far rather see Sean in the side and helping Bruno be able to move forward and do all the stuff that we know Bruno can do, rather than being tied down in midfield squabbles all the time and not being the ball player that we know he is. It's a shame, but I don't know how Eddie's going to go tomorrow. I mean, he says he'll consider playing the 2, but look, he won't tomorrow. I very much doubt it. But as we've seen so many times, Eddie Howe can swing curveballs at us that we don't see coming. So anything could happen when that team is announced at 11:30 tomorrow. But don't forget, you can catch the watch-along right here with myself tomorrow for full commentary of the game. We start at 12 o'clock with full build-up and team news, and then 90-minute play-by-play commentary of the game right here. I know it's on BT, but watch it on the TV, knock the commentary off and listen to the Toon review. It doesn't get better than that, guys, for a live game. It really doesn't. But that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think about what Eddie's had to say today. And, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button. It really, really does help the channel move up those search results. And, of course, if you're new and like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. It's a fabulous community that we've got here on the Toon review. Come and be a part of it. And, of course, hit that bell, which will let you know when we go live, or we schedule in, or we upload any videos, things like that. So don't forget to hit the bell. It is really important, guys. But thank you very much. Enjoy your Friday. If you are watching this on the Friday, then don't forget, TDR Friday at 8 o'clock. Newcastle United conversation, banter, laughs, and, of course, the big fat football quiz. Get yourself on and challenge the hosts. But in the meantime, guys, have a great day. Take care.